Gentlemen, Minister, thank you very much. First of all, thank you I know many of you in this room and an incredible group of individuals, so I want to say a big thank you. I know it's been a long day, and also I know we're talking about young people, so humor me, and Minister, I apologize. I'm going to ask everybody, please stand up. Seriously, stand up. It's okay. It's all right. Stand up. We're talking about young people. We work with young people. Put your hands in the air and stretch. Keep your hands in the air. Keep your hands in the air. Stretch a little bit. Keep your hands in the air and find 3 people to give a big high 10 to. 3 high 10s. Amazing. And when you're done, you can grab a seat. Thank you. Well done. I thought we could bring some youthful energy to our conversation here today, so thank you for humoring me. Lauren, thank you for the introduction, and to all of you, thank you for your commitment for engaging in young people and making them more effective, engaged citizens. I'll be sharing some of my slides just to give you a sense of reference of some of the small, humble kernels of wisdom that we work with. We have a chance to work with about 8,000 schools across North America, many of the schools here in BC, of course, 2 million young Canadians, and we've learned a lot along the way in terms of engaging kids. And the 3 things I just want to have a chance to humbly suggest today in terms of this conversation and how important they are for the work we've seen, but how important it is for the conversation to further today is around the importance of investing in citizenship. It's something that's easily forgotten, but it's so important. Number 2, helping young people find their own passions, and I can't stress how critical we have seen this to be. And finding and investing in those passions, because individual learning is that of individuals. And then also how important soft skills are in terms of development. And I know we talk about soft skills as a secondary thinking, but we know how important this is. So very quickly, and I'll refer to the slides again, Free the Children started back in 1995 because of this photo of a young boy from Pakistan who spoke out against child labor and unfortunately was killed for speaking out. My brother and I started a very humble organization in Thornhill, Ontario. We started selling pot because we wanted to build a school, 75 cents. Decided to build one school that has now grown, instead of building one school, to now 700 schools around the world in the 8 countries. And now we literally fill stadiums with the help of people like Lauren and Victor and some of my friends, Stuart and others who are here. And we do 15 of these massive events around the world to engage kids on citizenship and engagement. And it's been amazing to see, whether it be the millions of dollars raised for the thousands of local organizations that have been supported by the We Day activities, or alternatively, the international development work that young people here in BC have done, including the building of hundreds of schools in the 8 countries in which we work, and other amazing organizations that have been supported. And also buying and socially responsible goods and services, because voting isn't simply what you do in a ballot box. As young people vote every single day with their wallets, and we teach them that as well. So one of the things that we have prided ourselves on is making it cool to care. And when we make it cool to care with support staff and service campaigns and lesson plans and resources and outreach speakers and so forth as well, in Canada, very humbly, we've been able to work with this generation of young people to start a movement. We have We Days all across Canada, of course, the United States as well, and even in England. And when you bring the coolness of people like Prince Harry or Malala or Kofi Annan or Magic Johnson or Martin Luther King III or even the Seahawks, it's so much fun to see the level of engagement, because young people, this is part of their DNA. They engage with social media. They participate. Some of these activities really help to move and to get their attention. And when you get their attention, that's fantastic. You can hold on to it. You can mold it. You can engage as part of it. And you can help move it in the right direction. And of course, I just really want to stress, and I'm sure it's been part of the conversation today, I've heard some kernels of it, how critical it is also in the social media piece. To give you a sense, we have about 4 million kids on Facebook, and it's engaging with them on an ongoing basis, because this is where they learn, this is where they interact. And emails are so 1990s. This is how they participate now. So whether it be the different organizations that the kids support or the activities. But what I wanted in the very brief moments I have with you today is to share with you the results of a study that we've seen in some of the work that we've done, but more importantly, this is representative of so many of the organizations and so many of the topics and so many of the passions, of course, the minister and those of you who are educators here. We work very closely with a group called Mission Measurement, which is an outside firm, part of the Kellogg School of Business in Chicago, and they just did a large evaluation of our programs. But this is not just about us. This is about some of the things, if we can invest in these areas, whether it be through Junior Achievement or other great groups that are represented here today, if we can invest in these areas, implications are significant. When we invest in young people in terms of helping them find their passions in areas of citizenship and engagement and entrepreneurism, they know they can make a more important decision in society. They believe it's cool to solve social problems. When we invest in these kids, they're more likely to become aware on social problems. They're more likely even to do things like monitoring the news. Again, small but important steps to move these conversations forward. They're more likely to volunteer to a factor of 200% or 2.5 times or 250% more likely to help others in their community. They're more likely to get involved in social problems and more likely to start a nonprofit or a social enterprise organization. And that's just not those activities in the community. It's also academic engagement, which is so critical to move these conversations forward. Whether it's valuing their education more or being more motivated to go to school, or decreasing instances of bullying in my school because, again, I am seen as a leader and I have the leadership skills to be able to move this conversation forward. To, I am now more prepared to go to college and university, which is, of course, absolutely critical. And this is, again, investing in those soft skills that make them more confident to be able to make them more engaged citizens, but make them more academically successful. It also translates to professional skills, more likely to bring people together to solve problems, more likely to be a confident public speaker, or more likely to clearly express their views to others. And how critical this is to shape the conversation, to move these conversations forward. And interestingly enough, something that was really important is that when you invest in these areas, whether it be whatever organizations that make this part of their DNA, this works equally as well for at-risk kids, if not better. And these are kids typically in the communities that we work with in places like Manitoba or sometimes even in Alberta and others in Manitoba, especially with the Aboriginal communities in the United States, is with Title I lunch program kids who are in very dire and challenging situations. So I wanted to share that in a very brief amount of time because, it's critical to talk about the academics. And I remember His Holiness once said, Victor being here today, it's not just about the 3 R's, it's about the 3 C's. Compassion, community, and courage. And if we can invest in kids in some of these areas of activities, they will do better professionally, they'll be more prepared for university, they'll be more engaged academically, they'll be more confident, but most importantly, they'll be better citizens. Because at the end of the day, when kids go and graduate from school and graduate from high school and hopefully higher education, what are we asking them to do? We're asking them to be part of who we are as part of our fabric of our country, engaged citizens who care, who participate, who will be great mums and dads, great corporate leaders, great educators, great civil servants, whatever that is. But it's not just about the 3 R's. It's very much about those 3 C's. But it's about going back to my thesis, investing in citizenship, investing in finding their passions, and very much those soft skills to make it cool to care. Thank you for your time today, and I really appreciate being part of the dialogue.
Sensational.